Please give a warm welcome to producer Anton Skreko, producer Veronika Pašteková, and actress, executive producer Anna Geislerová. Welcome. Thanks for being here. I'm going to start with Anya. The importance of using long takes in this film. You know, the director Tessa. You know, the opening sequence is about 15 minutes of just one long take. Tell us about the importance of doing this long takes in the film.
Okay, so I will say what I know, and maybe we might participate on this answer. But Teresa really wanted to tell the story, like to try and make every one of you feel what the man feels, what's his, you know, how the day goes, like you feel it, and also the camera instructions. They were like, I want the camera to just be alive as he is. When he's peaceful, the camera is peaceful. When he's shaken, it's quite intense. And so it's like all done with the purpose to make the audience go through his point of view, his experience, and get as close as possible in that, you know, that experience.
Correct. Yeah, go ahead, Veronika.
And as an actress, because you know, in this case, I always say I'm only in one shot in this movie, but the whole movie it's 10 shots. But the one that I was in, it was the court scene, and it was one of the technical hardest. So we had to shoot it for 2 days. We had to rehearse. One day only rehearsing, the other day just, you know, performing, and of course. The biggest interest was on Milan, because for him it was very emotional scene. For the rest of us it was more like, you know, supporting him. And and we shot it like, I don't know, 8-10 times, and the day was gone. So
Veronika, how, you know, walk us through how challenging it was to choreograph this long takes.
Actually, I wanted to say something at the beginning, because this story happened in Slovakia. It's a real story of a man, and it is a very, very tragic story. And when I approached Teresa and we told her about this story, and she was thinking maybe for 2 weeks if she's gonna make it or not. Luckily, she decided yes. And then she told us there is the only way how we can film it, because I want to make a subjective movie that we are eyes of the father, and we will survive his daily routine, and we will be him, we will become him. And I want to do it this way, and just take it or leave it. And we said, yes, this is a great idea.
And Anton, earlier you had mentioned to me how arduous it was putting those long shots together. The actors had to rehearse and, you know, walk us through the process.
Yes, it was very challenging. I just told you that from the point of view from Milan, as actor, performer, he told it was not able to act or perform such a role. He needed to relive it. So it was very hard, very difficult on the set, because also during the breaks when they were resetting everything, he was still in the father. So the whole long days, because we are doing like 10, 12 shots and trying to find the best one. From production-wise, it was a nightmare, of course, because you have only one camera. So if something goes wrong, you need to start again. And we had all the technique we could imagine, like techno cranes and all the everything you need for onions and everything for the camera. And it was quite interesting for me because for the first part, we shot it in 2 months. First, like a winter part, it was the court scene and the end running and everything. We shot in January last year, 2024. And in June, we shot, let's say, summer part. And during the winter part, the cameraman, cinematographer Adam, he was still sitting behind the monitor and screening everything, and all the guys were running with the cranes and everything on the set, and he was just a choreographer of this. But during the summer part, it was more handheld, everything. So Adam was, when Milan was running, Adam was running. When Milan was climbing the stairs, whatever, running in the building, in this core scene when he found out that something happened and he's running from the office down to the parking lot. So he was running with him. So it was very, very challenging for the cinematographer. And what was also interesting from, let's say, the production-wise was that we had editor on the set all time long. Because at the end, what to edit? You have just 10 cuts.
Correct.
But it quite opposite, because he needs to be a part of the choreography for Teresa
And
to
the
take
rhythm.
all the rhythm and everything, because you need to put it in this 15 or 14 minutes.
And
Okay,
also
I'm too long, sorry.
and the composer also was on the set.
Yeah,
the music
correct. I
composer.
was going to ask you about the composer. That we have a glimpse of his inner world with the music, and then I read that Tessa had the composer on the set. You know, tell us the relevance of having the composer on set as well.
I don't know. Well, I really don't know that answer. Like, I think it was just like the need of her, like that everybody has to feel it. Like, and maybe you get the feeling from the set, you get it from the actors. And if you would know our computer, I'm so sorry that he could not be here, because he's like, you'd like to have him anywhere. He's a wonderful man. And sometimes, you know, that the music can help the picture, and sometimes the absence of music helps the picture.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think because Teresa and he himself, and also Adam, the cinematographer, they're very intuitive and sensitive, and so
Yeah.
I think they just all knew that they need to participate on it on the set, rather than, you know, looking for it afterwards in the editing room. So that's my guess. Maybe.
Yeah, definitely, that's true. And it was also, for us, it was wonderful experience. Like, we were on set most of the time, both of us, producers. And we were, sometimes we even prayed, because like the last scene, it should be very, very hot day. And the sun was setting down, and we still didn't have the scene made. And I was like, this is nightmare. What are we gonna do? Because in next maybe 2 months, there was no chance to put all the actors and cinematographer, everybody together. And yeah, but what I wanted to say, that we filmed something and it was strong, but as the music composer was there and he was making the music, and at the end we watched the scene and he input the music, and it was so strong that I had tear in my eyes, because it was so devoting and emotional with the music as well. I was like, wow, we are doing something really big.
And Veronika, the movie doesn't pass a judgment on the main character. Tell us about the importance of that, of navigating, creating empathy with the audience. We don't judge the character.
I can answer that because that's it's also, you know, Teresa would tell you exactly, but it's like the very interesting thing for me, even when I accepted, you know, to be in a part. By the way, I was shooting with Teresa when she was on a film school, so I have a special love for her.
But why she is the most renowned actress in Slovakia.
and Czech Republic.
Oh, Czech Republic.
More
I'm
Czech
Czech
sorry.
Republic,
Czech
but
Republic.
she's known also in Slovakia. She's
Okay.
But you know, I also teach on the film school, and I always encourage all my colleagues shoot with the students, because then one day you will sit in Santa Barbara, present their movie, and become their executive. But she, you know, the thing. I believe that everyone read or heard about this thing, like somebody forgets the child in a car, and you go like, oh my God, what kind of person could just do that, forget his own child or her own child? Is like, it must be some, you know, sociopath or a crazy person or very irresponsible or drunk or whatever. But the thing is, and I tried to talk about it before, but it wasn't probably clear. Like, if you ever yourself forgot a phone on a table or cup of coffee on your car and just left, so that's the thing that shows that you are capable of forgetting your own child in a car, because it's just the same kind of distraction. You just put it there, then you think about something else, somebody makes a phone call, and you just forget. It's a syndrome, and it's like, it's proven. And so it can happen to anyone. To me, when we were leaving the coffee, then Tatiana forgot her phone. Like, it happens all the time. So judging a person like that, it's like judging someone for having any kind of syndrome, which isn't really, appropriate. So I was shocked because I couldn't believe it. And then when you really take a real person, because this is a real story, and then you have a real friend of his who is the screenwriter. So then you have a real story about someone who's that close to you, like your friend. And it's just shocking and surprising. Mm-hmm. So you have to think about it, okay. And more, it's about like what happens after that. Because you are the normal person, you love your kid, you love your wife. You never could imagine like that could happen to me. I would never do it. Then it happens to you, and what happens next? No. That's this movie about. And Teresa never wanted to, show the tragedy, mm-hmm. I don't know, what's the judging of those people, but that also there is a hope and love that survives this tragedy, that the couple stays together, that they try to fight it, and they even, try to just go over it. So she always says that it's a movie about love. And maybe I mentioned, because I was surprised when I read it, and I didn't know that in the real life, the man really died. His heart just exploded. Yeah. And I thought it's like a license. It's like that's a good film ending. He dies, but he really died, which is really heartbreaking.
Veronika, I want to tap into something that she mentioned, love. I was surprised that the movie is about loss, and it deals with the loss, but it becomes a love story. And that was so surprising. Tell us about that aspect of the story.
Oh, because I wanted to say, like at the beginning, because I was approached by the scriptwriter, whose best friend, the scriptwriter is Dušan Budzák, and this happened to his best friend. And he survived with the family since the tragedy for a few months after. And we were talking about the story. He approached me, and I was pregnant. And that's why I was also more sensitive to this topic. And I said, like, we have to tell this story about the forgotten baby syndrome, about what can happen. And we were looking for the director, and we approached Teresa. She was shooting. She didn't have time to meet us for some time. And then came the day when we should meet. And it was the day that my son, who is now here watching on phone, and he was born on that day. And that's why this project is as old as my 5-year-old son. And I called Dušan that I cannot meet Teresa. You have to persuade her yourself, because I'm going to the hospital. And and what was the question?
Well, it doesn't matter. It was a great story what you just told. It was about the emphasis on the love story. That yes, it's a story about loss, but also it's a story about the love story between the couple. Can you tell us about the emphasis on that?
Actually, it's like Romeo and Juliet, because she was with him through all the trial. She didn't leave him, and yeah, she loved him until the end.
Anton, one of the things I love about the film is that the study of the male psyche, and we watch this male grapple with all these emotions, and I was thinking that in our society in the U.S., where men don't have the connection with their emotions, and in this, I'm just curious how culturally in Slovakia, the fact that he has to grapple with all these emotions, how is it different culturally in Slovakia?
I think no. I think it's not so different anywhere a bit, and this is also the movie as evidence for that, because it works worldwide. Actually, like a month ago, we were in Rio de Janeiro at the Rio International Film Festival with the movie, and it was a great audience there, and they just get the emotion, the love story, everything we are talking about right now. And I think it works because it's very like a simple basis of the film is like being more human to each other. And this is about empathy and everything. And as Veronika mentioned, Dusan, this is our co-writer, he wrote also a book about his friend and this tragedy, and he named the book 5 Million Judges. And 5 million because Slovakia is a super small state. We have like 5 million inhabitants. So he meant like everybody was trying to judge him. And the father, the character, and also in the real life, he was a little bit left alone. Also during the court, you also seen it in the film, like the prosecutor was pretty hard on him, like trying to find evidence of how mean person he is, and he's like a no good father, not a good husband, and everything. And this is basically how we treat each other. And this is one of the ending we would like to say to the audience, that don't be so eager to judge another in any situation, because this is very, very tragic and very like extreme situation. But don't be so eager to judge in every single life situations. And I think it's like maybe the second or the third plan of the movie, and it also works. And evidence for that is that we are in distribution for 6 weeks in Slovakia now. And we are still #1 in local national distribution. After 6 weeks, still #1.
Congratulations.
We have like people, thanks. Like people are putting some messages on Facebook and Instagram and everything. And one lady wrote, "I was twice to watch the movie." I was thinking, twice? It's so hard. Why she go there to watch it again?
Yeah. I want to, Anya, ask you about one of the most beautiful scenes in the movie is the first night after the young girl is killed, and we see the couple by themselves that first night, and the two actors are so emotionally naked in that scene. Can you tell us about, was that always, I'm sorry?
Sorry for laughing, but I explained.
Yeah, was that scene always in the script, and the importance of showing us that first night of the couple together?
The reason why I'm laughing is because the scene that I envy them. I wish I could be him, or to get that part or get her part, because that's such a strong scene and beautiful. Yeah. And so I'm just I'm envious. But I think this is more question for Veronika, because I wasn't on the set when they filmed it. But I believe it was on the script, and it's like everything. I think it's in the script. What was in the script is in the movie, because there is not much space for improvising. When you have 10 shots, you probably have to rehearse them all. But so maybe if you have the experience from the set, so that maybe that's something you can share.
Yeah, actually, this was very strong scene, and Anya is right. The script was very short, and when we were applying to different funds, it had maybe 80 pages or something like that,
Wow.
or maybe less. So everybody was surprised, and this was the beginning at the funds. For example, Danish fund. That, how can you have such a short script? Because there was written everything, and I was like, "Phew, can we make it with this script?" Because we were applying maybe 2 or 3 times in different countries, and all the time they had problem with the script. So then I started to write some production notes that please don't be surprised that the script is so short, because this is just one-shot movie, so the script also looks differently. And then we made it in Poland. Poland is the third co-production partner. Yeah, the scene, it was strong. Like we were breathless. It was so strong that even the crew, sometimes we were not breathing. Like we saw them, and it was very difficult, this one-shot movie, because we were changing places. He goes out, then he goes back. There are also some hidden cuts in this scene. There is one hidden cut when Milan brings Dominika on the bed, and there is a tissue, and he makes this, and there is cut because the scene was too long for one shot. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I can add, it was super intimate. It was a night shift, of course, and all the crew, everybody were in the house. They were just acting in two rooms, and in other rooms everybody was like squeezed in in there. And actually, this moment when Dominika, or the Zuzka's character, she's loading the washing machine with the clothes of Dominika, of her in that time dead daughter. And
this
this
really
is what
happened. This happened the first night.
Yes, that's what that's
Dusan.
what I
Yeah.
wanted to say. That
Sorry.
this is what we borrowed from the real story. It was super. Dusan told us about this. That it was super strong, because when he arrives to their home in real life, it was during the night, and he finds Zuzka or Dominika, whatever. He found her doing this, and they had a laundry room in the basement of the house, and she was just filling the laundry, like, being elsewhere in her mind, and he just heard the sound. That what Milan was doing in the kitchen. He was somewhere else in the house. It doesn't matter, but these two pillars of this scene, of this first night scene, was borrowed from the real life, and it was super strong. You cannot, you can use your fantasy, imagine something else, but I think you cannot overcome this. It was like super strong, and it worked also on the picture.
And Anya, Veronika mentions how thin the script was, and yes, there is, in particular, Milan, the main character, the actor, has almost no lines, but it is so challenging acting without words. You being an actress, do you agree that the man and the actors?
Well, but Milan is a superstar, and we all love him because he's very, and you see him in this character, and it's very, strong performance, subtle and heartbreaking, and yet not like, I don't know, like the first play, just really like very well thought and played. But if you would see him, he's such a good comedian too. He's amazing. He's an amazing comedian, and also he's a good friend, and he's, amusing. So for him, he himself says that this is the hardest thing he ever did, the hardest, character he had to create, and well, I don't know. It's just like amazing to watch him. But of course, I made fun of him, and I asked him, it was a lot of breathing, in the movie. we had a lot of breathing, but he's a star.
Yeah, he's terrific.
And he's also in a real life, he's so emotional, because I remember at the beginning, because we were thinking about who is gonna be the character, the main character, and Teresa told me there is only one, Milan Ondrik. And I said, okay, are you going to call him? And no, I don't want to call him, do it. So I called him, and we know each other for some time. And I prepared myself something like pitch why he should do it, because he can pick the roles. He doesn't have to take everything. So I was trying to do it, to do the pitch very well. And I was preparing it maybe for 3 days before I called him. I was afraid because we really, really wanted him. And Teresa said, there is no one else who can do it. And so I called him, and he listened to me. I told him my pitch, and there was silent. And I was like, phew, maybe he picked up the phone. Then I checked it. No, there is like seconds are coming. So I was like, okay, I will wait for a few seconds, nothing. So then, Milan, are you still there? And and then I heard his voice, and he was breathing, and I think breathing. And I think he started to cry, and he told me like, I want to do it with you. I have 3 kids. And I'm always scared I forget them somewhere in a shop. Last time I went to the shop, and I was inside, and then I found out that they stay outside at the parking lot, like just standing in front of the shop. And he said, I want to do it. We must tell the story. I want to do it with you.
Right. And Anton, what do you want people to take away from your film?
Well, actually, maybe I mentioned it before, like to be more humans to each other.
Mm.
I think it's so simple. Like I think it's not matter the tragedy and this like really this great emotions you can take it, but at the end, after a year, you can remember father. Yes, it was a great movie, but what I remember is that not to act in such a vein, to be more human to each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's so simple. I think today's like reality world that surrounds us everywhere, not in our country, in Europe, in America, everywhere. I think we need it. Mm-hmm. We need it the most now.
No, it's a beautiful film because it makes us become more empathetic, and the beauty of the film, the way it was put together, it forces us to be in the shoes of the main character. The film, Anton mentioned box office success, and is selected by Slovakia as the official selection. What has been the reaction in Slovakia about the film?
You mean audience, or
Yeah,
you mean
audience. What has been the reaction?
Audience? Yeah, audience is great. As Anton mentioned, we are #1 for 6 weeks in Slovakia, and we are still in cinemas. So I think people like the movie, and we are so happy. I remember because we started in Venice, and people also stood up, and yeah, and some of them I saw also, they were crying. I was crying too.
Yeah. Well, it's a powerful film, and we're so happy you guys were able to make it here today. Thank you so much.
We thank you so much.
Thank you. Great audience. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And if you guys have questions for them, please come on up.